Hey, good morning, family. So this is Reginald Martin of Kemetic Centered Living, and just out here doing my walk again this morning, and just had some things on my mind. Just thought that I'd share and take some time to do that. So this is a great time for me to do it. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I guess I saw in comments that people were seeing, and basically to help understand what the idea of Kametaphysics is as well, because a lot of people it's basically a new word, and what I wanted to do is to reframe the idea of Kemetic, and the reason I wanted to do that was because a lot of people, when you say Kemetic, there's already a preconceived notion about what Kemetic is, and a lot of times it's based around historical events and historical knowledge and just gaining knowledge, But Kametaphysics is more about really developing a system, a scientific system of approaching spirituality, okay? And grounded in the ancient Kemetic spiritual system. All right. So the ancient Kemetic spiritual system is based on the idea that everything that is physical comes out of the metaphysical. Therefore, everything that is physical is in some way symbolic of a metaphysical or abstract idea. Okay. So you can know and this is just the idea of the universal law of as above, so below. And the law of correspondence is what it's called. But when I say science, a lot of people don't get, or they think it's something like weird, I guess. I don't know. But when I say science, it just means that, like any science, you can observe, experiment, test, hypothesize, and experiment and make changes, okay? And the same thing is when I say a spiritual science, that's what I mean, is that you can use these ideas to as a science, because in religion we were taught that God's ways are mysterious, we can't really know God's ways and those types of things. But the ancients really taught that the universal laws have a pattern, and you can use when you understand those patterns, and you can connect to the idea of the universe in this and understanding those patterns, then you can create your life and reality in a way that you desire. Okay. And for example, let's consider the law of vibration, and the idea that everything in the universe vibrates. Well, from a practical perspective, the idea that everything vibrates relates to you in the sense of your emotions are the translation of vibration. So we can have emotions and feelings, okay? And feelings is something that it's like you exist in this vibrational state. You feel a certain way, at times and in different stages in your life. You might feel a certain way about certain things. Emotions are just energy in motion, but it's something that can overtake you, like fear and anxiety would be emotions that would overtake you if you were in a certain situation, okay? But both are based on vibration and frequency. And the vibration, the idea that vibration can actually tell you, or your emotions and your feelings can tell you what vibrational state or the level of the vibrational state that you're in any moment. And the reason why that's important is that in certain states, you can only connect to a certain level of consciousness, okay? So your emotions and feelings are going to bring to you or attract to you a certain level of consciousness. So in that sense, if you can take control of your feelings and emotions, and then you can say, okay, well, I changed this here, I changed that there. You hypothesize about something, and then you experimented with it, and then you saw later if it worked or not. That's the science, okay? So you're literally taking control of your spiritual journey in that sense, and you're dictating the terms of your spiritual journey. Sorry about that sun, man. It's right behind me. Good grief. But you're dictating the terms, okay? Whereas in spiritual, in Christian, in the religious sense, we're just taught that everything is outside of us, and we really can't know what this God is, or what this universe is, or anything. We just kind of have to just kind of go along with whatever is happening, you know. If we're cursed, oh, we're cursed, you know. And I don't believe in curses, but although sometimes I wonder. So, but that's one of the ways you look at this as science. And the same thing with the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. And this comes back to the idea of ma'at, balance and reciprocity. Because with the law of correspondence, as within, so without, your internal state is what's being reflected back to you as your life, okay? So your life, and what we might call the ego, and people will, you know, make that a negative thing, but the ego is designed to help you maneuver in this physical world, okay? And when you can understand that your vibration is the essence, or your life is really feedback for the essence of your vibration, okay? In other words, if you want to know what your dominant thoughts are, what your dominant feelings and emotions are around any area in your life, look at your life, see if it's something that you like or not, and then you can start to kind of hone in on the things that you want to change, okay? Change your vibration, and you will attract different things into your life, okay? So, again, that's the science part. So, it's not just haphazard. So, Kametaphysics, and I call that as the Ka, which is the ancient Egyptian Ka, which is the idea of the soul. And it's a little bit more complicated than what we think about it. Well, a lot more complicated. But it's the Ka and metaphysical. So the physical, okay, or above the physical. So meta means above or beyond, and the physical. So Kametaphysics is the idea of learning how to operate at your soul or from your soul level, because the soul does not stop gaining knowledge or experiencing while you're here on this earth. You are inside the soul. The soul is not inside you, okay? So that's a different way of looking at this too. You are inside the soul. So the soul is the environment that you live in. You communicate with the soul through your emotions and your feelings, okay? So all of that, again, this is the science part. It's not something that's just happenstance or just luck, or, you know, oh, well, this happened. No, it's something that you can know through your experimentation, and you are the subject, okay? Your internal state of being, because your internal state of being, when you're connected to that, that's when you're connected to your soul, okay? And your soul level experience. So that's the science that I mean when I say Kemetic science. When you hear me say that, That's what I mean. That is something that's predictable, something that you can experiment with, something that's observable. All right. Your emotions are observable. What you're going through on a daily basis, you can observe, but you can take control of that. Okay. Now, another thing was a gentleman said that he had been on my channel for a while and he's searching for the truth. Well, what I got from that was he's looking for one ultimate thing that says this is truth. And family, I want to say to you that again it's a religious notion. And Christianity taught us that there has to be this one ultimate truth, because that's how they had to position themselves, because they was teaching stuff that was so in that age and day. A lot of the stuff Christianity was teaching, people looked at as complete BS, you know? So, but they had to position themselves as the new kids on the block. They got something new, and it's the ultimate truth that nobody else can speak against. And that's how they started teaching these ideas, that it was an ultimate truth. No other spiritual systems at that time taught things like that, okay? So most of the world's spiritual systems today, they're not going to put you in a position of where you have to battle one belief system or not. And the reason that is because for most spiritual systems, all experience is valid, okay? All life experience is valid. And there's no right or wrong in that sense. There's only the experience of it and how you deal with it, okay? So if you're going through some difficult times on the job, Christianity would say, well, the devil's coming against you. But in a spiritual sense, it's an opportunity to learn and grow from the difficulty. That's why you have the difficulties, is to learn and grow and not to give up and that you're being cursed or the devil's against you and stuff like that. That becomes a crippling type of idea when you are going through difficulties, okay? So in this sense, there are many paths to the same point. Even if you think about it in life, you can probably go to the grocery store and there's a number of different directions, just depending on where you live, of course, but there's probably different ways that you can make it to the grocery store. There's different paths you can take, different streets, different roads. If you don't want to go on the freeway to get to the grocery store, you could probably take back roads through the neighborhood or something, you know? So there's no one ultimate truth. Each path will get you to the point that you need to get to, okay? And within spirituality, there's no one ultimate destination. It's a continuous path, a continuous path of growth and evolution. So no matter what's happening, whether it be good or bad, it's part of your growth and evolution, and it's about how you deal with it. If you believe that your power is outside of you, then that presents a whole nother a level of powerlessness, you know, because you got to think about how so often that when we were Christian, that, you know, we would pray to God and things wouldn't happen like we wanted them to. And that's really what started me questioning a whole lot of stuff, man. I was like, God, you know, I'm doing everything you say I'm supposed to do, or at least I'm close. But I'm not getting my prayers answered. I had gotten laid off of a job when, you know, that I had asked for the job, then I got laid off. I'm like, damn, I didn't ask for that. You know, why did that happen? You know, and I had been out of Christianity for a while, but I was still, you know, mulling over a lot of these ideas that I was taught. So I wanted answers. I wanted some knowledge about, you know, how can I get more control over my life and not feel disempowered, okay? But the idea that there's only one truth is a religious idea, okay? And it is an idea that you can go that route if you want, because again, all experience is valid. You know, I won't say that's a wrong way to think, but if on some level it works for you, it works for you. but you usually end up bumping into some difficulties with that type of thinking. Okay, so Kametaphysics is about the metaphysical science of the soul, and operating from the metaphysical science of the soul. So even though I call this channel Kemetic Centered Living, this channel is not about history necessarily. Okay, it is about really self-development and developing yourself from a soul level perspective through the science of spirituality, and not just the guesswork and superstition that a lot of times we had to deal with in Christianity. Okay, so but at any rate, family, I'm going to continue walking, and y'all have an amazing day. Okay, Reginald Martin out.